Guys, our friends from NordVPN are on a mission to keep you safe when you're online. With Nord's help, the internet can be safe of cybercrime, theft, and surveillance. Nord is much more than just a VPN. NordVPN's threat protection is going to shield you from malware, trackers, and ads, while their dark web notifies you of any potential leaks or threats. The meshnet will allow you to connect your devices remotely and securely, and the dedicated IP will allow you to avoid CAPTCHAs and block lists. But my favorite part about NordVPN is that they're privacy conscious. They do not track what you do or share, whether you're sending or receiving anything online. And you will always be protected with a robust encryption. One account can protect up to 6 devices with 24/7 customer support and a 30-day money-back guarantee. NordVPN customer service cannot be beat. Become safer online with a single click and the fastest VPN on the planet. Get NordVPN's 2-year plan plus 4 months free when you go to nordvpn.com/Sonnen or click on the link below. Poirier versus Denise. Did Poirier make a mistake? That seems to be a big narrative that's out there. And a lot of the people making the statement are quoting me. They're saying, hey, Uncle Chael always talks about it's the card placement. Just for example, talks about that fall, talks about, hey, your job, get the biggest check with the easiest opponent. Is that what Dustin's on here? I understand all those concepts. I appreciate that. I think that's what you should be talking about. But when you get done talking about it, when that is concluded, make sure you view it from the other side. Because the narrative of did Poirier make the right move talks about the pressure being on Poirier. Now, nobody explains, and all sports guys use the word pressure, and they'll talk about who has it. But they never explain to the audience why it matters. And they don't explain because they don't know. Most of your top sports guys didn't do sport. It's just a word that they heard. It's a word that they regurgitate. I'm not putting them down. I'm sharing with you, right? When you run into the Jim Grays of the world, they have the foggiest idea what they're talking about. I will tell you, pressure creates a chemical release. It's created in your brain. The same as excitement and anxiety. It creates adrenaline. It can create a release that goes through your bodies, and it will exhaust you. Will absolutely exhaust you. There's a wrestler in college, 7-minute match. 7 minutes is nothing. If you consider the fact that we would do that 2 hours a day, every day in practice. 2 hours hard. That thing we would do for 2 hours. Could barely get through 7 minutes of it. Why? What changed? What's different? Pressure. That's it. You inserted stress into an environment. That stress, as a chemical, creates a fatigue. So whichever person is feeling more pressure in an endurance sport, oftentimes will deal with fatigue faster. And fatigue creates cowards out of all men. There is no better way to beat somebody than to get them exhausted. No better way. Doesn't matter what plays you start running at that point. Doesn't matter who's stronger, better, younger, whose mother loved him more, who ate better. I mean, go right down the list. If one guy's tired and one guy is not, scoring points becomes very easy at that point. So I just bring to your attention, that's why it matters. And if you do look at, and you're looking at all the mistakes made by Poirier, and you're looking at coming down the card, and you're looking at all the pressures that are on him, and then you consider the other side, which is Poirier came out as an underdog. That surprised me. But I don't know if you can feel the pressure and be underdog at the same time. I don't know that you can. It's a bit of an oxymoron. Definitely mutually exclusive terms. So one thing that is also never considered is the fear that it puts into the other guy. Now, Denise, with his military background, is special. It's very hard to rattle somebody like that. But let's take a look at the scenario, because we see this scenario repeatedly where a star gets put in with a really good fighter. So one guy can really climb and one guy can really fall. We understand that. What gets missed is that the really good fighter looked up to the star. What gets missed when you put that younger guy in there with the veteran is a lot of times that younger guy's got a picture of the veteran on his wall. He's got magazines with the veteran on the cover. He's aspired to be like that guy, and that's a hard guy to beat. To beat a guy that you looked up to, it's just a hard guy to beat. And God, I could just tell you personal stories about that. It's a really hard thing to overcome. I had a guy in my hometown, good friend, went on to be a teammate, Greg Johnson. Greg Johnson was a senior when I was a freshman. I looked up to this guy. I wrestled this guy every day through high school, through college. He come back on Christmas break, went and became teammates at University of Oregon. I got bigger, two weight classes heavier. In my life, I've taken him down one time, and it was on accident. He did something wrong, and I fell on top. I mean, it's one of those things where once you put a guy in this category, and that's the part that always gets missed. So you look at Dustin Poirier, he's got a job to do. If he would have wilted behind the scenes, and it wouldn't matter if it was Dana's voice that heard that wilt, or if it gets reported back to the managers that call their client Denise himself and says, hey, that guy you looked up to, that guy you've aspired to be, that guy whose place you're trying to take, he buckled behind the scene. You didn't have to hit him once. You've already beat him. He quit. Could you even imagine? Or you have somebody who has pride. I mean, this is a massive feather in the cap of Dustin Poirier. And don't forget that he's doing this at home. And he'll represent his home as Lafayette. I understand that. But he's lived and come by way of Florida for his entire meaningful fight career. And in any other sport, you have a home court advantage. You have home field advantage, not in fighting. It is home field disadvantage. Fighting in front of your people and dealing with the pressures, having all the local papers and radio stations and all the time suck that they want on you. It's an amazing experience when it's done. I mean, it's amazing. I'm just sharing with you. Everything is against him, not to mention he's coming off a KO loss. You know, boxers do once they're KO'd one time. Poirier, coming off a KO loss. Everything is wrong. Everything here is against him. He signed anyway. This is a massive, when you're telling the Dustin Poirier story, when you're looking back, this is one of them. I can't say it's the one. He's had a few the one moments. That's a guy that's had a very special career, but this is one of them, what he's up against. Everything riding on it. It's even what I would consider short notice. I mean, tickets for Miami have been on sale for 3 weeks now. He just got put on the card 2 days ago. Oh, by the way, they didn't even help him out. I mean, if you're a short minute fight, you either get a belt that's on the line, or you fight for 3 rounds. Period. The end. You don't do short notice and do 5 rounds. Period. The end. He took that too. There is nothing about this that couldn't be against him. Nothing. This is the figurative hand tied behind your back. Dustin Poirier signed on that line anyway. So you're not wrong to question him, and you're not wrong to second guess him, but once that's done, understand this is a two-man sport. And understand he expects to win. And understand he knows what he's up against. So you get some of these guys that are young and hungry, and they stay that guy. And those are the ones that go on and have very long and meaningful careers. You have other guys that are young and hungry, they get to a little bit of a spot, and they freeze and they panic, and they don't ever want to risk it. They don't want to get off that biscuit. They don't want to do anything. They turn the gun on the promoter. They do whatever it takes. They price themselves out of the business. They make up injuries. They do all sorts of stuff. Dustin Poirier did not. And it's an old expression, but all that a diamond is a piece of coal that withstood the pressures of time. There's never been a day when I feel that Dustin Poirier's moniker of the diamond is more perfectly placed on the right guy.